2020, first year we did about 100K. 2021 is blurry. That might be 247 or 250K. And then the year after that, I think we did like 492. So that's 2022. 2023, I think I hit my first meal in 2023.
Solid.
Yeah, but I brute forced it. But 2023, the FBM was just so good. I was still able to pump that. 2024, we did a meal again, much better margins. Same results. 2025, I think we're going for like 15. If we smack Q4 hard, we can go for 2. But honestly, where it's at now, I think I'll settle around a 3 mil a year.
E-commerce is the greatest business opportunity of our generation.
What is up, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Ecom Unlimited podcast. It's your boy Kaj here with my co-host Josh.
What's going on, everybody?
And before we get into the conversation with our guest for today, I wanted to plug the sponsor of today's episode, and that is SellerSnap. They are our repricer of choice. They help you stay in the buy box longer, increase profits, and avoid price tanking. So if you're a reseller, get on SellerSnap. They will help you make money. We've been using them for, I think, 2 or 3 years now and have been extremely satisfied. And if you have any questions on how to set up SellerSnap, if you're already using them, we recently released a YouTube video that goes over some of the presets that we use depending on different buy box situations. So we will also link that YouTube video in the description as well. With that, very excited to have a conversation today with Saykho. Saykho, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How y'all doing? It's good to be on.
Yeah, thanks for making time in your busy schedule. So let's just jump right in. Give us a quick background on how long you have been in the e-commerce space, selling on Amazon, doing that sort of thing.
So I've been selling since 2020. So, I made a post the other day and Reezy posted, he replied, he said, it's not as easy as the pandemic with, money banned. So I thought that was funny. So I got started during that real easy golden era, right? I'm not sure what it was like before that. I mean, he kind of made some hues that it was a lot harder before that point of time. So it was just hard. And then everything just skyrocketed in 2020. I'm talking, you got weights, pools, mason jars. You had chlorine come kind of right after. And then it wasn't just those were the big niches. Those were the things people were making millions. I'm not even revenue. Like people were becoming millionaires off of weights. And I was playing at such a low level. The real dogs, like the people who were killing it at that time, because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not going to make it seem like, I would just have so much experience. And I was completely confused. I was up here using personal credit cards. I remember one time someone literally said I didn't like money because I didn't have enough money to buy the Bowflex 552s, the Select Techs. I couldn't afford them, and I just couldn't buy them. And I had to leave behind maybe 5 boxes of 2 pairs. And I posted it to the group because back then, everyone was just in Telegram groups, like baby birds with their beaks pointed up waiting for, yeah, that's literally how it was. That's all we did back then. And it was perfect. It was the best relationship. And somebody was like, bro, you hate money. I'm like, I can't afford it, man. What do you want from me? So that's really when I got started. And the truth of the matter is that it was so easy because eBay would have got you to where you wanted to go. So you didn't even need to make an Amazon account. So I didn't decide to really get into Amazon until multiple months in. And I'm like, okay, let's really start to try to build this up, try to take this a little bit further. And so that's kind of how I got my start. Within that 2020 era, things are too easy for a beginner. Doing 100K out the gate, have no idea what you're doing. For the people with experience, I'm talking they were renting U-Haul trucks, hitting every single store within the country and just changing their entire family's lives. So, not the situation now, sadly, but, that's kind of how I got my start.
Gotcha. And let's maybe just for the viewer, give an overview of what your revenue and maybe profit numbers look like about over the years, right? So
over each year?
If you can remember off the top of your head that far back.
Okay. 2020, first year we did about 100K. profit, I can't tell you. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know
Sure.
what I did in profit because, man, I can't even talk about how we performed taxes that year because the IRS might be listening. But we submitted. We for sure submitted. 2021 is blurry. That might be 247 or 250K. And then the year after that, I think we did like 492. So that's 2022. 2023, I think I hit my first meal in 2023.
Solid.
Yeah, but I brute forced it.
Because you did a lot of FBM, right?
I was pushing straight FBM that year because I came from like a big seasonal background. Like I didn't like the normal retail arbitrage of like going to stores and actually scanning everything. I hated that with a passion. So I just refused to do it. So I focused solely on seasonal products. That means my April and my March, it looked like I wasn't selling. But come July, you feel me? Come August,
right.
You know, I was in the streets. So right. I really focused on specific seasons during those times because I didn't need to spend every waking hour of my life in a store. Like I would just go to a store, clear out shelves. It was very easy to build relationships, especially with retail stores because they love you if you're spending money with them like that. It's very different to OA, right? They want your bread. So when it comes time, I would really kill it. And then I think 2022 is really when I realized I need to step up like my game to get some more evergreen going. But 2023, the FBM was just so good. I was still able to pump that. 2024, we did a meal again, but at just much better margins because, like I said, in 2023, that was 2023. 2023 was a very interesting year for me because I didn't really know my numbers yet. So I'm just looking at Sellerboard. So I'm looking at Sellerboard telling me I'm rich. So what I did was hire family because I've never been about like the Lambos and the Rolexes yet. It's like, all right, how can I put my people on type beat? And I rushed into that too quickly. I remember back then I was making posts about it like, oh, I hired my sister, I hired her, da-da-da-da-da.
I remember
and I was
seeing
just hiring
that,
people. Yep. Bad mistake, bro. That was a bad mistake. That was crazy. I was telling you, when I look, I think, like, I mean, IRS might be listening, but I paid her a ridiculous amount of money that year. It was very interesting. We can go deeper into that if you want, but like that was a very interesting year. A lot of lessons learned. 2024, we did much better margins. Same results. 2025, I think we're going for like 15. If we smack Q4 hard, we can go for 2. But honestly, where it's at now, I think I'll settle around a 3 mil a year mark on Amazon. Even then, I think that's a little bit too high, and really want to keep it around maybe the mid 2s. Okay. Every year.
And now, are you still mainly pushing FBM?
No, I'm 100% FBA right now.
Okay. Gotcha.
When did you make that switch?
After 2023. In 2024, I started pushing mainly, I started making a very strong switch, right? Because I got deactivated in Nike way before everybody else. Mm-hmm. So Nike was like my main bread and butter for a good while. But I was kind of playing a very high-risk game, right? We can get into the specifics of that later. I was playing a pretty high-risk game in terms of how it worked, and it worked really well. It's just, you know, when you're getting that many account health violations, even if you can beat them, even if you have all the documentation to beat them, it's just not the type of game you want to play with Amazon long-term because at a certain point, it reaches an inflection where it's just, you know, their brains turn off. And you need to be speaking to someone of such a high level of competence for you to ever get anything through. And once you've reached that point, you can't really play the game anymore. So that process just stopped working for me completely. So I had to pivot off of Nike earlier. Like, so by the time like the real Nike regates coming, I was looking around like, dang, y'all too? So, you know, but in terms, that's 2024 was that switch to FBA because in 2023, we were already kind of focusing on FBA because I think that's when I really started to hone in on VA teams and systems. And I had 2 really good VAs. Like, I think the VAs I had, those are the guys I still have now. Like, my 2 oldest, they've been with me since then. And they were already killing it at that point in time. But, like, you got to understand, when you have an FBM opportunity producing 25% net margins, you feel me? And your FBA opportunities are producing half of that. It's like, so I ignored anything FBA, and I literally pushed all my chips into my FBM for 2023. So when that kind of went away, I was like, all right, dang, the fun's over. And I'm like, let's get back to the good old classical stuff. And that's when we started pushing FBA like normal in 2024.
What is the most amount of FBM orders you shipped out in a single day?
Man, we had a factory going. Like, I'll share pictures. Like, it was because we had like an FBM house, and I moved into that house specifically just to push FBM. And as soon as I stopped pushing FBM, I moved out. So I moved the entire family there because like my folks got a village mindset. Like we traditional West Africans, they don't never want to separate. I'm like, all right, I get it, cool. So I moved the entire family up, and like we in this house now. It's a nice neighborhood, but it's like it's a little far from everything. Just so that the location was not the best, but it really worked when it came to like strong FBM systems, and we had beautiful FBM systems. I miss them to this day. So I would say maybe 500 to like 700 units. And it wasn't me. It's like I have 3 different people packing at the same time. So we can move through a lot. So probably PQ4, I'm talking, I'm in mountain deep of FBM. Like I'm on the floor because sometimes I like packing on the floor because I could just sit crisscross applesauce, get to work. You feel me? And I would go to sleep. I would like pass out, take a nap in the middle of my FBM orders, wake up dazed and get right back to it. So I'm like, if you haven't had those days in the trenches, you just don't get it. Like you just don't get how good that was in terms of like the FBM days. And they were really, really good.
Yeah, I don't really think we also understood how good the game was when we were doing, when everything was pretty much ungated and there wasn't a whole lot of lockdowns going down. I mean, it was just incredible how much capital you could churn in a single period of time and how many orders that, could come right back at your face, especially in Q4. It's just an incredible ability to churn money. And it was just such an incredible time. And, it is still going on to this day, except the level of which, you have to just be a little bit more careful with. What are some like valuable lessons that you learned about with, building a team and running those systems?
What are some valuable lessons I learned about building a team? I would say, I guess I would just kind of go over what I focus on is, this is a really good one. And somebody might disagree, and I think that's fine. Never hire someone you fired before. So if you fired someone, don't go back to them, right, for anything. And even if it's just like a singular test job or like a singular project, it's like you fired them for a reason. Even if they might know your SOPs, they might know your strategies, they know how you work, don't go back to them. Just get somebody else, right? Because, man, it took me about 2 times to realize, I'm not doing that again. Like, if I let someone go, that's the end of that relationship. There's no rehires, there's no nothing, right? And it's just, I don't know, I think it's one of those situations where you just kind of have to be super disciplined about it because it is the easier route. And you're like, oh, what if he changed and things like that? But that's something I had to learn. And it's super stressful because sometimes you get the people who'll play the victim game on you and try to play morals, and it's like, it ain't about morals, man, or it's not about it's not about that. It's just, we can't work together. You could work with somebody else, find great success. It's just, I can't work with you particularly. And then when it comes to systems, I would say the person, integrity, character over pure skills, right? So the kind of way my hiring process is built out is that I don't really, of course, if you say you have this type of skill, we're going to test for it, right? Because you said you have that skill, right? So if you don't have that skill, you lied, which is also just an integrity character type of a situation. So we focus mainly on just who you are as a person, because I think you can't train someone to be a better person, right? You gonna get who you get, and that type of person, based on your training, will become that S tier, A tier, employee or like team member. So I would say really, really focus not on particular skill. I mean, honestly, in the Philippines, you can get skill and character together, like compacted. Like there's no reason why you should ever settle for like, oh, he's a great person, but he sucks. Because there's so many great people that don't suck. Like the cream of the crop is so massive that, especially when I was hiring like a ton, I would notice that all of these guys are extremely good to the point where I would have to become petty with my criteria just to get it down to like 30 people. Right. So it was like, there was just so many good people that I would have to like get super, super nitty gritty on things that, like doesn't even matter, just so that I could actually filter it down to an amount of people I could do a test job with, then I could do a interview with in the future. So I would say test with character and then don't rehire once fired.
I like that.
And what was some of the lessons with the FBM systems? Because you mentioned before you hired maybe too quickly or paid too much because you didn't know your numbers. What was the lessons there, and how did you transition away from that?
Man, it was a fun time. So it was family, right? And I'm kind of a goofball when it comes to family. Like, the only people who can scam me and get away with it is family. Like, they can scam me multiple times, and I'm like, God damn it, you got me. All right. So that was, my sister had just lost her job at that point. You feel me? So I was like, we got this FBM going on. Why don't you pull up with me and we can make something shake? And if I was to read you like the contract we built out, when I go back and I look at those numbers, I want to throw up. Like, it was just so disgustingly in her favor. And I'm just like, yeah, no, she's my sister. It's cool. And it's just like, it's pure nonsense. I'm telling you, man, we lost so much money that year, but we still made money. Just from how good Nike socks, like just FBM was in general, right? So when I look back at it, I'm like, God, I can't believe I messed up all of that. And it's like, never gonna do it again, right? Like, I was posting about it, people like, just pay her hourly. I'm like, who, me? No. So yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Was it like hourly plus like a pay per order packed or something like that, or a profit share? Or
it was a lot.
It
might have been all of that. I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot. Well, it was honestly just a ridiculous amount. And yeah, because when I read like through the write-ups, it's like, oh, partner and all this different stuff. And it's just, I was coming at it with a stronger intensity that they were meeting me with. So it's like, instead of it being like a 50-50 relationship, I was like giving 90-10. And I was willing to kind of put my money where my mouth was in the situation. And, even though they consistently were showing me that, yo, we're not as hard into this as you are. You feel me? I was like, well, this money gonna change how you feel. And it did. But once you get regated to Nike, it's kind of like everything fumbles apart. So all those investments, it's just like, so yeah, when it comes to those FBM systems, I wouldn't even say that was the beautiful part, because the real beauty was just the pipeline in terms of being able to hit a store, have inventory, have complete access to your inventory. Somebody trying to restrict you, it don't matter. All my products are here. You feel me? And then Nike socks are Nike socks. You can liquidate them anywhere. Somebody was talking about it, and I was like, if I were to get restricted in any category, I want it to be Nike, because I can sell Nike anywhere. It doesn't matter. You're going to liquidate that bad boy without any type of hassle. And it doesn't really make sense until you're really deep in the game, and it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be doing this for like the next 10 years. So that'll be just revenue against expenses at some point in time anyway. So, still money doesn't really bother me too much. But if you're looking at it within a short term, it's like, oh my God, you're losing money. Why? And it's like, it's kind of part of the game. It's not that big of a deal if you kind of have an equalizer to it. So yeah, I would say really the really good part about it was the ability to get an item in, sell it, ship it, and have it picked up within like a 48-hour window. And then there is no, oh, Amazon lost my stuff, which didn't used to be an issue. You feel me? Like, that didn't used to be a problem until now they want to only pay manufacturer cost. And you got to fight them to even get that. So it's like, it's getting to a point where it's getting a little ridiculous. And Amazon, it's not like they're switching up. They've been showing their hand for the past 20 years in terms of how they feel and how they approach sellers. So I think, I don't know, me personally, I'm like, you know what, maybe it's time I start responding kindly or in response or in turn to what they're showing me and, you know, start addressing what I invest time, resources, and capital into. But yeah, man, FBM is a beautiful thing when you can pull it off at scale.
Yeah, it is, because we also we hired one of our best friends too, and it was a phenomenal decision because we had so much fun in my mom's basement, aka our warehouse, doing FBM, FBA shipments and all that kind of stuff. But I just remember sitting down with Kaj at like the end of the year and running through some numbers and being like, man, he just made a lot of money, but like I don't know if the business can I don't know if the business can handle that, like, for like the next few years. Cause like, there's like a lot of our growth is just going into our one of our employees. It's like really tough because we got to really spend a lot more money. So I remember going over that with Kaj and us kind of having like a moment being like, oh yeah, this kind of sucks. Like, this is really an unfortunate like accounting issue that we probably could have seen, but like, we were just like, it's just like in the moment when you're in it and it's just like, it's happening, everything's moving so quickly. And it's really so hard to kind of take some time to really kind of understand what's actually like coming in, what is going out, and what is actually like going to stay in your bank account. That's, profit at the end of the day. So yeah, me and Kaj also had a situation kind of like that as well. But it's good learning lessons. Very good learning
100%.
People are expensive.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Super expensive.
Have you looked into doing wholesale or brand direct or private label at all, or are you still right now just focused on OA?
When I think about it now, when I think about wholesale, private label, I'm not very interested in. It's like, it sounds cool. It makes sense. I understand why people go into it, But I never want to be one of the guys that are like, oh, always too hard, or not even always too hard, always too risky. I'm going to go do private label on Amazon. And it's like, well, you're just replacing one bad, boss for another bad boss. And I'm visualizing that differently in my head, but I think that's the best words I can come up with right now. But basically, the issue is Amazon. The issue is Bezos. Like, that doesn't change. You can go do private label if you want, and they still going to abuse you over there. You feel me? So at least we can start making money off the jump with just reselling. It's so simple, right? It's just a numbers game. Like, there's no nonsense where Trump's tariffs can affect whether or not your business wakes up the other day because you have all of your suppliers within the U.S. So we had international suppliers, but it's just like, okay, we got 5-10 of those, and we have hundreds of national suppliers. So we're perfectly fine. So that's not really a bottleneck for resellers. Now, when it comes to wholesale, I like the business model of wholesale, but I ain't really had no capital until like 2 days ago. You feel me? So I just got capital recently. So it's like, when I saw guys, like, capital has always been my biggest constraint. And it's not even like a biggest constraint type of thing. I'm talking about I was poor. Like, I ain't had no type of bread. I low-key didn't have no business starting no type of inventory-based business. Because when I'm telling you, like, I didn't have much capital to start off at all. Like, everything I kind of built out was pure hustle and like a little baby credit card. Because I'm talking my first credit card, I had to go beg Best Buy. I'm like, bro, please, I need something. You feel me? And they gave me like $3,000. So I'm like, I have $3,000 on Best Buy and absolutely, a bit of cash here from the flips I've been doing. And I just kept snowballing. You feel me? So it's just now recently where it's like, okay, capital isn't the biggest deal anymore because we just have so many options. Just over time, decent sized credit score, and now people all of a sudden want to give me money and stuff like that. So wholesale really wasn't the option for me for like the past lot of years, just because I didn't have enough capital to put into inventory at the time, right? So kind of the reason why I went OA was because it just allowed me to, make that. I would say, I don't know what the turn rates are in wholesale. Is it a bit slower than OA?
It can be.
It can be generally, but it depends on how you play it. But
makes sense.
I think it's probably close to impossible for a wholesale turn rate to beat OA FBM. I don't think that's
Okay. Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
no,
think
for
that's
sure.
possible.
But like OA, FBA, what do you think there?
OA FBA, it could be similar because we have some suppliers
Yeah.
where it's like if you're buying and stock is ready, and if we're using it
Yeah.
our 3PL, it's like, okay, it's 2 to 3 days to get to the 3PL, get shipped out next day. Pretty much the same as ordering from a website, shipping it out next day.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense. Yeah, I would say I probably didn't have a good visualization. I think I didn't really I didn't push out of my comfort zone enough early on. I was like, I'm gonna just do OA. It's doing enough for me. And I feel like if I had probably pushed into wholesale earlier, I probably would have been doing more wholesale now. It's just one of those, you would never know type of situations, and kind of where I'm at now. I don't really have any interest of going into wholesale because it's just, I know where my ceiling is in terms of scale, and we're already there. Like, we're pretty much already there in terms of the direction we want to go. So if we do ever do any wholesale, it's very, very low on the roadmap. Like, I have it on the roadmap. It's just so extremely low. So many things come before it. And it's not anything I want to put too much of my time into. There was a point a lot of years back where Jonah Hodges was talking about building a private label Amazon store, and he kind of had his team do it. And he was posting about it a ton, and his team kind of did all of it. And that's always been in the back of my head because I've always liked the systems of things. And I think that's why, I kind of always aligned more and kind of pulled towards those guys, right? So like the Fields of Prophets, the Gavin Sweeneys, you feel me? Like those are the guys that I always found like so much more interesting than like a lot of the more bigger names out there. And, those are the guys I really, really learned a lot from. And kind of seeing how Jonah Hodges pulled that off and kind of seeing what I want to do in my time going into the future and what I still want to be able to do with Amazon, we're probably going to have a similar approach to where I allow the team to kind of spearhead any type of, new trails into wholesale or A to A or anything like that. Any type of variations of source.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What does it look like for someone who is coming into the space? Let's just say you had to do it all over again, no capital. How would you go and try to scale with the lessons that you've learned?
Man, say I'm a brand new beginner. How would I go about tackling Amazon resale? Man, I was listening.
In terms of just like, that's kind of what I break it down, just from the capital scaling side of things.
Just from like a capitalist perspective?
Yeah, like if someone doesn't have a lot of, money, kind of like you back in the day, and they want to scale the OA model, how would you go about doing it now that through the lessons that you learned?
Okay, so honest opinion. I was not even listening. I was just doom scrolling. You feel me? I have a problem. But I was just randomly scrolling, and I saw like a Dustin Poirier short, and he's like a fighter in the UFC, right? Really great fighter. And they asked him, what would you tell a young buck looking to get into the UFC or something like that? And he was like, man, believe in your dreams. And then like 3 seconds later, he was like, go to college, just go to college. And I wouldn't say go to college. College sucks. You feel me? But man, in the day and age we're in now and kind of where Amazon's heading, I'm not going to say don't sell on Amazon because Amazon is a great opportunity, but it's going to be so extremely hard. You feel me? It's like in my opinion, I don't think there's anything faster than the guy looking to start reselling and like take it to really quality systems, really quality revenue, like just quality results in general. I don't think you're going to be able to produce that quickly with anything else. But I'm going to be like, really, really understand what you're getting into, right? You're going to be poor, right? And I think a lot of guys don't really break down that perspective for a while. You're going to be cash poor, inventory rich for a very, very long time. Now, to kind of get down to your actual question, when it comes down to the capital side of things, and this is kind of where there's a bit of a religious, I would say a little bit of religious pushback, because I'm Muslim, right? And for the longest period of time, I had a very different opinion of credit cards, interest, APR, and riba, right? Technically, interest is haram. You're not supposed to deal with any type of interest. And credit cards, while technically you can avoid interest, you're signing up to a contract that's basically say, I'm going to commit a sin if I'm not able to do X, Y, Z. Technically, that's what in itself a pretty bad sin. So for me personally, if I really came in with that perspective, I don't think I would have been into Amazon ever, right? I didn't really know that at the beginning, and I was just like, credit card madness. So I try not to push too much info when it comes to, and there is a path there. You feel me? There is a very clean path when it comes to, like, I don't have any cash flow. How do I get cash flow via leverage? There's such a clean path, and I hate the fact that as soon as I learned it, I wasn't able to teach it because of, kind of religious conflicts within that area. But I would say, if you, I can't even go on like, here's a little loophole. But, there's a path there, but just because of the religious side of things, there was a point where I was talking about it and I'm like, let me delete those tweets because yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Kind of like uncomfortable. I mean, like, let's be honest. I don't think in my personal opinion, I don't think anybody, especially if like we're in like the 16 to 18 age, opening up a credit card and then going to go spend, $30K on it, looking to try to, flip that product, especially maybe in the first couple months of business. I mean, that's just not smart. Like, you cannot do that, giving yourself a cap at like, I think like, $500 a month, just start there. It's like, if you don't have $500 in the bank account, you probably even shouldn't do that, right?
That's reasonable.
So it's like that's where I like, if that's where I would start in terms of like, if somebody's new, somebody wants to even like dip their toes in just to see if it works for them. I think a good OA trial period, I would go there. I've seen so many people, so many tweets, and they just blast it off probably like 50K on credit cards. And now they look like they're running a highly successful business on Amazon. And like deep down, that's not the truth. And you don't want to call them out on it because it's like, he has his boys. I'm not here to start, any issues with anybody. But deep down, you kind of know, like, hey,
that balance sheet is not
there's
balanced.
no way that's possible.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold you. I was that guy. You feel me? Like,
Sure.
I know what you're saying with it, and you're 100% correct. It's dumb, you feel me, to do that. If you have a credit card and you're just going crazy on the credit card, that's stupid. Man, I was that guy, and I had no issue with that. I'm telling you, it's different because, like, the perspective is we're not thinking, and we really are. We're not worried about the risk. It's a pure crackhead.
That Chad scale.
Bro, that's the only way it is. Like, we know the risk. We know the risk. We know the issues, and it's just like, but them orange bars, though, So it's like that's pretty much where the mentality is. And even now, I don't really have much qualms with like the person that kind of goes with that strategy. It's just like, hey man, have a good time. You feel me? If you want to go to those parties, take some roofies, do you? But I kind of understand the risks that do go with it. Understand the risk. Yeah. What I really, you could say, don't appreciate is the people who play a game and I don't even know if they don't understand the risk or they ignore the risk. I was just talking to a guy the other day and he was pushing a method, really good method. He was killing it. And I'm like, you're going to lose your account if you keep doing this, And he's just like, oh no, it's perfectly fine. It's da-da-da-da-da. I don't run into any account health issues. And I'm just like, all right, you feel me? I'm just letting you know. Personally, so yeah, like if something happens, because I want him to keep winning, so not no win type situation, stuff. Right. Inshallah, he keeps winning, right? He keeps killing it, he keeps murdering it. But like, if something happens, don't come to the timeline and be like, I can't believe Amazon did this to me. You feel me? I think that's a little odd because it's like, the game you was playing, so you knew it wasn't clean. You feel me? So yeah, I just think know the risk and don't be that guy who's all of a sudden a victim when everything comes crashing down.
I agree that, which is actually kind of funny that you were just talking about that because me and Kaj, we can really run this one brand right now like very effectively, and we know
Honestly,
that
I can't spend more money on this and sleep at night.
yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it's just like, again, everything's super clean. Like it couldn't be any cleaner. But the problem is it's just one of those big brands that you never know what's going to happen. Right. And so, yeah, I mean, it's exactly what we run into. So again, we're quickly looking to, what can we make up for it? Let's add a couple more brands. Again, we're on more of the brand direct side of things.
Yeah,
Let's
beautiful game y'all play.
Yeah. So again, we try to streamline everything as best we can too. So, but I mean, it's really good, being honest with people at the end of the day, because this is a risky game. Anything can happen at any moment. Again, another example of ours was we just have one inauthentic on a Nike pair of boxers. And, next thing you know, Nike's gone. And it's like nothing we can do, no amount of, clean invoices that we have can scrub that away. Unfortunately for us, that just is what it is. So, I mean, that is, how we play the game. And it's always good to be honest with people just to make sure that they know what they're getting into, because they might not know the inherent risks like we do.
Yeah, and I think that's the kicker. There's a lot of business models, and everyone does it. All the gurus in all the biggest spaces, they do it. They glorify the upsides, and they really they don't talk about the downsides as much,
Right.
And I think the biggest issue with the resale game is, if you do, the risks are bigger, right? The risks are just so much bigger. So I don't know. In my head, it's kind of tough because it's like, how could you not know that this is the risk of the game that you're playing as you're playing it? It's like, oh, right. I didn't know I was playing chess. I thought I was playing checkers. And it's just like, I don't know, bro. You take the chess pieces right there. So I don't know. I try not to blame the victim, but it's just like, there has to be some level of awareness if you're going to be trying to do all this fancy business stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Now, how are you taking all that risk, potentially from Amazon? How are you trying to de-risk? Is there anything new that you're trying?
Completely stop scaling. Like, the goal isn't scale anymore. Right? It's not the intention of spending anymore. It's because it's like, Mr. Bezos has let us know kind of where he stands with things. And, there's plenty of, I wouldn't even say precedents, but documentation that arbitrage is cool. Buy from authorized retailers, authorized distributors, and you're good to go. But the simple risks still exist, and the risk is pure, I don't care. It's not even incompetence. They just don't care. They have the money to build out all these, the processes we need to be able to function as sellers, in any form of fashion. Seller support doesn't exist. It's non-existent. It's just not a path. And you have to plot against them so hard that it really restricts what you're able to do. I'm talking, we keep our processes so streamlined because we don't want anything to go through multiple layers of complexity. Because if it goes a little bit too deep, you just lost them. Yeah. So you want things to be as simple as possible. For example, let's say you buy, because I'm a big shoe guy. So let's say you got some UK size 7s, that's a US size 10. Good luck explaining that. You feel me? Like, you would think, it's size conversions. And it's just like, they're not going to understand. Like, they don't have the equipment to be able to understand that. And that's really what seller support is. So when you start to stack too many layers of complexity on any opportunity, if it comes time where they're calling you to court, you got an account health violation, and it comes time to explain that via paper trail, you're cooked. You feel me? And even if you're doing everything perfectly fine, you're set up for a problem. So when it comes to how we're approaching things, like, we already kept things super, super squeaky clean, like anything remotely nonsensical. I'm talking, like, I know guys that do things that just don't make sense to me, because it's like, I wouldn't even trip and accidentally fall where you guys are spending all of your time. You feel me? So, like, people who will tap into brand, opportunities where the brand is actively on the listing, I'm like, you just don't care about your life. And that's okay. Do you. But, I ain't going to do that. So, big on diversity now, right? Kind of literally building out a roadmap right now that focuses more on just the process of diversity and what we really want to focus on in what particular order. And I would say, just making sure we have the brands And not just the brands, because understanding the opportunity, we know the opportunities. Knowing the opportunities is easy. Having the leads is easy. But, really, no, that's too good. I don't know if I can share that publicly. knowing the really deep details on an opportunity, like the real specifics, the real nitty gritty. And I'm like, yeah, everyone knows that Stanley and all them fancy stuff is good, but it's like, do you know the specifics to what makes it good? Do you know what upside, downside you should really be paying attention to? Because like you buy it and it tanks on you. I buy it and I'm having a great time here. You feel me? So that's all the code I'll give there. But like diversity is a big thing we're focused on right now.
And then are you starting anything like new besides like Amazon to help kind of, continue to take some risk off of Amazon?
I've always seen, the day I started OA, I was complaining on the timeline. I'm like, man, this feel like office work. This sucks. You feel me? Like if you come from an OA, or not an OA, but an RA background, you're used to treasure hunts. You're used to physically moving. Like that stuff is fun. It's exhausting, but it's mad fun. Like you walk into that store, you don't know if it's going to be there. And then you cut that corner and there's 20 boxes of it. Bro, that's rent for the year. You feel me? You're having a great time. So that's where I come from. And then you get into OA and it's pure technicalities. It's pure systems. It's all data. And it's just like, ugh, you guys are boring. You feel me? So no hate. I love OA. Like OA is how I make all my money. But it's just, it's not the most exciting work in my opinion. So I've always been more interested in the marketing side of things. And it's just been a fight. I'm up here tangling with the demons, trying to like, nah, we're not going to shiny object syndrome this. We're going to stay the path and we're not going to start anything new until this starts, until we're just going to focus on this. You feel me? We're just going to focus on this. But it's like, it was a manufacturer cost. I'll tell you right now, that was my tipping point, right? When you lose my inventory, and you always do for some odd reason, it doesn't matter when or where. When a customer scams me on a return, I'm willing to deal with the hassle. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to say I won't walk your systems to make sure I get my money, because there's a path to redemption. You feel me? Like, I don't really care for the people who sit around and complain all day like, oh, these customers are scamming me, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, just go get your money back and stop crying. You feel me? But now it's like, okay, we're only going to reimburse manufacturer costs. And it's not like I'm saying, Amazon isn't switching up. It's like, oh, how could you possibly do this to me? It's not that type of angle. Because this has been their MO since, day one. All the OGs that's been around for, centuries, they'll tell you that Amazon been doing this forever. And it's taken me some time to realize that, yeah, this guy don't care about me. This is an abusive relationship, right? This is quite toxic, and I don't appreciate that. So I think it's time I start getting into the marketing side of things. And I've been not trying, because focus and like making sure you have the right priorities set up. Like I'm looking at my calendar right now, and making sure you have the right priorities like scheduled is key to making sure you have any type of success or results with anything. So if you want to push into that next business model willy-nilly, you just won't find success, and then maybe your current business and source of income might just fall apart as well. So the way I'm approaching it is, gonna not put it off, but really gonna just focus on hammering out this roadmap and these last few tweaks within the business to kind of get us on that direction we need to go. And then from there, I'm gonna start slowly working in more marketing hours, right? Because I really want to get into that marketing field. I find it to be just the most interesting, studious field when it comes to just the psychology of the game, the techniques, the strategies. You feel me? It's like, I feel like that's something I could just easily become a bookworm to and just spend so much time just being a student of the game. And that's really what I've always wanted in my life when it comes to work, is I want to find something I could do for the rest of my life and be a student of the game. Like, it's like, You look at all the greats, and this person has been a student of that game since he was 5 years old. And it's like, dang, I wish I had that, right? Just something where it's like I can just be consistently obsessed with this one thing forever. And it's like, I like sports, I like jiu-jitsu. I got the little jacket on right here. But it's not a good one. I don't want to make money with my body. Those guys, the way they talk about the game, especially the guys that are looking to retire, it's not a game where it's like, I've been blessed to where I have decent technique to get things done, but it's not of my intention to spend, years destroying my body just to be thrown aside like a used rag after my peak years, and like no one wants to pay me anymore. So I'm not very interested in that, but I could be a 75-year-old, like I'm talking tycoon marketer. And that's kind of where I want to be, where it's just like I can barely breathe and people are plugging in a USB plug into my head trying to figure out what's in there. So that's kind of the game I want to play now.
Okay. Is it like across like specifically like on Amazon or just like in total?
I plan on I practice on Amazon. So you might see me throw out some offers here and there just because like those are like practice. So when it comes to me like trying to get into marketing, I want to completely escape Amazon. You feel me? Like Amazon's a great source of income. It's a great process. Like, don't get me wrong, but I know what the pitfalls are. And it's just building within that trajectory isn't real diversity. Because a diverse like index fund isn't a bunch of stocks within the same industry. Like that's that's just a specific industry index fund. But if you want something that's actually diverse, when something's going up, maybe you're going down. And when something's going down, you're going up. So I'm planning on going in the complete opposite direction of Amazon. I've been here all my life. Or not even all my life, I'd be exaggerating, but, past 5 years. So I feel like if I don't get out of the resale space, I'm talking like a hard stop, I'm going to be year 20 and this is still all I'm going to be doing. And that's kind of my biggest fear is like being 45 years old and I'm still just a reseller. Like, and the thing is, it doesn't sound nice. It sounds like super mean and dystopian. And I don't want to come across like that. There's a lot of guys who are killing it at the highest level who have been doing it for 20 years. So it's never a knock to them. Right? I love their game and they're running it beautifully and they understand the risk and they play it heavily handed. And it's just like, I know my situation. I kind of know, I guess, I just don't want to do it. I ain't gonna hold you. There ain't no, ain't no like fancy words for it. I just don't want to be that guy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, and picking your path is really important in life. And you got to get out of bed. And if reselling isn't gonna cut it for you to get out of bed, it's always good to make a change. So it's really cool to see. And in terms of creating a new plan. I know that's always exciting as well because me and Kyle talk about that a lot. So that's really cool. It's really cool to see. And it's what's even going to be cooler is when you tweak those last couple systems and then you're only working on your Amazon, business for a, set number of hours a week.
Yeah.
Which like after 5 years of Amazon, talk to us a little bit. How many hours, like let's just say, you had to work as little as possible during the week to maintain what you have now. How many hours do you think you would have to week to maintain that?
I really wouldn't have to do much. Like if I didn't want to make any improvements and I wanted to keep everything as it is now, and I didn't care about any updates, adjustments, it's just there's so much to improve and there's always something to improve. And that's why I'm like, if I don't put a hard stop to this, I will be here forever. Because I will always constantly be improving, trying to evolve, trying to make things better. And it's like, that's an endless loop. So you just have to put your own fictitious type of limit to it. But if I wanted to just keep things static and I didn't care about any type of, because the thing is, you're not static. If you're static, you're downtrending. You feel me? So if you stop, you're eventually going to lose at some point in time, right? Things are going to catch up to you and you have to keep running. So always being like, let's say a jog is actual static. It's like, I'm actually moving forward consistently. That's your only way to actually be stable, right? If you stop, you're eventually going to lose it all, in my opinion, or at least that's from what I've seen with guys who eventually go static. But yeah, I wouldn't have to do anything. I mean, the team does everything.
That's awesome.
Just if you could visualize the entire process from source, review, purchase,
sell, reconciliate. They run the entire process, and they've been at that for a while. It's just I kind of review things, and I'm really trying to step into more of that consultation role where it's like, okay, here are the improvements that we should care to make and not improvements that I have to make for the sake of improving, which is something I'm really trying to work on personally within my own brain. And then, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. So like maybe like a couple hours, even if that.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. I wouldn't have to work at all. Like I could just disappear and be like, hey guys, handle it. And they would do well. Like they rely on me on a lot of things.
Sure.
Just because I've always been there to kind of 100% help them. Sure. But if I was to just disappear overnight, like let's say I was just to fall off a cliff somewhere, and my last text message was, "It's in your hands now," and like something real, like something real mysterious. I think they could keep it going for like 2 years, unless somebody stops paying off, our 2% credit cards, then they might run out of capital, and that might be it. But if someone's paying off them credit cards, they're gonna be good to keep going forever.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's a true team, and that's what you want, out of your business eventually. Especially again, that was a dream when we all started, and that me and Kaj continue to strive towards that. So that's such a great story. Saykho, where can people go find you on the internet?
I'm on Twitter, 7fig Saykho, not S. I can't spell my own tag. That's funny. 7FIGSAYKHO is the tag. And I would say you guys have a beautiful game, right? It's harder to outsource the physical stuff. It's just much more complicated than the OA online stuff. And the stuff you guys run is like levels ahead. So, I would say y'all are most definitely playing it right. And it's like I just shot straight for outsourcing because that was my personal biggest goal over anything else. But yeah, I'm very jealous of the stuff you guys have going on. It's killer.
Well, again, we appreciate it.
It's one of those things where the grass seems to be greener on the other side, and then you get there and you're like, oh, there are weeds here too.
Oh. That's cool, man.
But yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Well, guys, thank you for listening. Make sure to leave a comment if you have any topics you want us to discuss in the future. You guys know all links will be in the description. If you're on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, follow the podcast so you can stay updated on all of our new content. And we will see you on the next one.